Are you a journal maker and do you want to learn how to put those vertical papers into a horizontal layout? Keep watching. Hi everyone, my name is Tina, I'm head of design of VectoriaDesigns. If you like to make journals, it is so easy to take a horizontal or a landscape page and fold it in half to make beautiful signatures for your journal. But often the printable papers that you can source online are vertical shaped, and some of them you can turn around, but most of them won't face the right way anymore. In this video I'm going to show you how to turn those vertical papers and turn them into a horizontal layout that you can print and use for your journals. You don't need any special software at all. I'm going to use the website befunky.com. And for what I am going to show you today in this video, you don't need to sign up, you don't need to pay anything. It's totally free. Of course, there's also some paid features, but I don't use them at all. And I also included a zip folder with a few freebies that might help you in this process. An old paper background plus, and that's the most interesting, 3 PNG files that can create the illusion of a book. Just opt in on the link below and a zip folder will automatically download, or your computer can ask where it should be, you know that, and you're ready to follow along. Later in the video I'm going to show you how to use some more difficult papers, and then I'm also going to show you how to use those book centers. But first I'm going to start with some easy pattern papers where it doesn't matter that you cut a piece off here and there. First of all, go to befunky.com and this or a similar screen will show up. And then hover over Create and then click on Collage Maker. And then a default template appears, but we cannot do anything with this. So on your left, click on Layouts. And there you have a lot of layouts that you can use, but we don't going to use these. We're going to click Create Your Own. And then a white rectangle appears. But it is not yet the size we want. So on your left, click on Customize. And there we can enter the pixels for the width and the height. So for those amongst you that use a 8.5 by 11 inch paper for your printer, type in 3300 pixels width and 2550 pixels height. For those of you that print on A4 paper, type in 3508 for the width and 2480 for the height. For those of you that print on A4 paper, it's going to look a bit different, but the main idea is just the same. Now let's add some papers to this. On the top left, click on Image Manager and just click on Computer to find the pages that you would like to insert. And then the pages will automatically load on the left. And then just choose a paper that you like and just drag it in there. And choose another one and drag it in there too, next to each other. A tip to enlarge these the same way, it's best to select them both. And you do that by selecting one, hold your Control or Command key and select the other one too. And now you can drag them both and enlarge them both at the same time. And you see problem 1 arising. When I enlarge them, these papers won't both fit. And that is because of the specific dimensions on the letter page. If you use A4 paper and you will load A4 paper, 2 pages will perfectly fit on the page. But with letter page dimensions, you don't have that. And so we have to work around that a bit. You see the whole darker area on the right will not show up on the page when you save it. If you use patterned paper like this, that's not really a huge problem. Just slide both pages until it locks in the center. See? It will magnetically lock in the center. And so the side grayed out areas, the darker areas, will not be printed. Another way that you can do is just let me delete one of these pages and then slide the other one into the corner and just enlarge it until it fills the whole page. Now the quality will be a bit less, because if you enlarge papers larger than they were intended to, there will be some quality loss, but with some high quality papers that shouldn't be a huge problem. So that's a thing that you can do too. Pick a pattern paper or other type of paper that needs to be horizontal instead of vertical and just enlarge it. And if you want to save this item, just go to the top, click on Save, click on Computer, then you can give your file a name. You can choose between a JPEG or a PNG, but for this a JPEG is more than enough. And for the quality, I used to say put it to 100, but you see if I do that the size dramatically increases, almost triples. So if you put your quality to a 95, that's perfectly alright. Click save and just choose a folder on your computer where you want the file. And now let me show you a solution how to use papers where you don't want to cut anything off at all. I just deleted the patterned papers from my canvas and I uploaded some detective papers. I'm gonna drag 2 of these on the canvas and put them next to each other, just like I did with the previous papers. I select them both while holding the Control or Command key so I can move them both. And as you see, pieces will fall off and you don't want that. Because if I place the papers like this, you won't see classified, you will see ossified. And we don't want that. Of course, you can shuffle the pages a bit, but it will never be perfect. And you will never have a center line to fold your journals. So instead, while they're still both selected, let's just make them a bit smaller so they fit both on the page. And you can choose, or you have some gaps on top or on the bottom, or if you put them on top or on the bottom, you will have some empty gaps, vice versa. There's a few ways how you can quickly solve this, and one of this is going to customize and choose one of the background colors. But there's not a lot of colors on there, so there's not much to choose. But to make the borders on top and on the bottom a bit less harsh, in the freebies zip folder I included a old paper background that you can open. Just click on computer and choose that one. I have it loaded in here. I'm going to drag it on top. Of course it's too small and it's placed vertical and I want it to be horizontal. So what you do is to grab the upper handle and drag it sideways until you come up to 90 degrees and then let go. And then just snap the page into a corner and drag it out until it fits the whole page. Of course we don't want it on top of the detective papers because there would be no point. So just right click and then choose layer order and click twice move backward, and this way this old paper will come behind the 2 pages. When you have a lot of layers like this, it's possible to lose track over time. So if you go to the bottom left and you click on the symbol that looks like a sort of a tower, you will see all the layers and in which order they are. So on the bottom is the antique paper that I gave you, and on top of that are the 2 detective images. To make it a bit more interesting, I'm going to place another paper on top of that antique paper background. Just drag it in. You can choose any paper that you like, of course, with some interest, but something backgroundy. Just place it in the corner and completely fill the page. Of course, it's on top, so we're going to right click, layer order, and click move backwards twice. So it'll be placed below the 2 detective papers, but on top of the antique paper. And of course, now you see nothing of the antique papers, but if the paper you put on top of the antique paper is still selected and you go to the image properties, choose options and then play with the blend mode, you can get all types of neat effects. You can try overlay, you can also try soft light. That's a good one. You see, you softly see the pattern paper mixed with the antique paper. They care everything that falls out of the canvas. You still see it's a bit weird. I don't really like that, but it will not print. Keep that in mind. You see, you can try multiply and you can try really a lot of different blend modes, but I'm just going to keep it on soft light for now. Another problem, the center line for some of you may be too harsh. I would love it a bit more softly and look like pages in a book and not just some images next to each other. And to do that, I made some PNG files, some extra layers to put on top of it. So just go to computer again and choose those 3 files from your computer. There they go. And they all have different sizes. One is quite large. The other is a bit more narrow and the third one is very narrow. And let me show you what happens if you drag the white one on top of the paper. Just drag it on, snap it to the top and just enlarge it. And to place it perfectly in the center, you can go to options and choose Align Center, and it will snap automatically perfectly in the center. And you see it came on top of the other layers, image 5. And if you think, oh, that's not enough, I want it a bit more, just click on duplicate and a copy of that will snap on the top, and it's a bit darker. And if you think, oh, it's too dark, just lower the opacity of the second layer. So put it on 50 or something instead of 100. And you can really play with this, because let's say if you wanted a bit more nuance, just grab the middle-sized one and drag it onto the canvas and enlarge it and click Align Center. You can play with the opacity, put it lower or higher if you want, and you really get some sense of a book here. You can copy it again, or yes, if you copy it, the problem is it will copy on top, but a little to the right and the bottom too, and that's a bit annoying. So when that layer is selected, just go to Options and click Align in Center, both vertically and horizontally, and then it will be perfect. You can do that for all the layers if you want. We have 4 layers of book centers now, and let's put the small one on top. You can really play with it. Yes, align center, align in the middle, and it's perfectly placed. You really are going to get that sense of book or journal. And you can delete some layers if you think, oh, it's too dark. You can really play with it. And also, if you think that black color is a bit too black, just select a layer, go to color overlay and choose kind of a brown color and make it dark enough. Yes, like that. And it'll immediately become more real, more brown instead of too black. And if you want to do that with the other layers as well, you don't need it to do it one by one. Just select all the layers by holding Shift or Control if you want to select certain layers, and do the same. Just choose color overlay and a brownish color, and see, it looks a lot different right now just by changing the color a bit. So you can use every color that you like with these. These book centers are really very versatile. And of course you can save it to your computer again. And there you have a lovely spread to print for your journals. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it wasn't too technical. I hope you learned a lot from this. If you do, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to share with your fellow journal making friends. And I wish you a truly beautiful day. Bye everyone.